Hello and welcome to another life story from an emotional awareness expert. Today we're going to talk about the words, "Are you okay?" and how this can support people around you, whether they're people you know or an entire stranger. And I'm going to base today's on a journey that happened between Christmas and New Year. I'd been down to London with my daughter to see a West End show, and then on the journey home, and we had to take the tube train from London all the way to the very end of the line. And it was the noisiest, screechiest, most uncomfortable train ever. It was like raw metal on metal with the wheels on the tracks. And it was like being inside a boombox of torture music. And while we were on this train, a young man got on and sat opposite us. And as he sat down, he put his head down and he was wringing his hands together, and his whole posture was just really uncomfortable in himself. Now, having raised a child on the autistic spectrum, having helped at the support group for Asperger's, and having seen many of my son's friends also deal with the challenges of having Asperger's and social anxiety, my daughter and I both looked at each other and we just knew. Now, the young man actually had a railway logo on. So he'd obviously got a job working on the railway, and that kind of fitted that people with autism very often are very fascinated by trains. And so I waited for him to sit squirming for a few minutes and looking around, and he was very frowny and just you could see he was dreading his day ahead. It was still quite early in the sort of middle of morning. And so my daughter and I sort of kept looking at each other and thinking, not sure what to do. And then as he glanced towards me, I finally took the opportunity to say, "Are you okay?" And I was very careful how I used the tone, because if I was to say, "Oi, are you okay?" he might have just put walls up and gone, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," or not want to talk. But I was very careful in how I selected my tone to say, "Are you okay?" And his response was unbelievable. He took a deep breath and he smiled and said, "Yes, thank you for asking." And he was actually grateful that I'd asked him, "Are you okay?" So I continued by saying, "I see you work for the railway, you've got the logo." And he said, "Yes." And then he started saying about how he worked on another rail he was travelling to and worked in the catering buffet bar, and explained his passion and vision for working his way right up to being a train driver one day. He had a vision. And as he sat there talking to us, he opened up and he glowed. And it just beamed out of his personality that his world evolved around trains and he absolutely loved them. He just really genuinely had an interest in this for a career. And so as he talked, I eventually said to him, "Have you heard about the double-decker trains?" And he says, "Oh yeah, I've heard of that." And then he described these trains. There was only ever two in commission in the UK, what line they used to be on, where they were based, and described about how the seating arrangement was in them, but it wasn't sufficient. And he went on for a couple of minutes about these double-decker trains. And most people have never heard of them, but he had. So to see his face light up even more when I said, "Well, the only reason I knew about them was because my grandfather, who worked on the railway for 46 years, was a guard on the double-decker trains." Wow, that made his day. So sometimes when somebody looks like they're having a nervous breakdown or they're just in a shell, and the social anxiety of sitting in a place that's super noisy, overwhelming, uncomfortable, and just setting them up for a bad day can totally change with three words. "Are you okay?" And as we got to his stop, before the end of the line, because we were going all the way, he got to the door of the train, and as the doors opened, he looked back at us like that, and he said, "Thank you for asking him if I'm okay. That meant a lot." And off he went. And I was amazed at the amount of gratitude that he showed. So just think how you have felt on a day when you're not having the best of days, and somebody comes and asks you in the most gentle tone, "Are you okay?" with genuine concern. How does that make you feel? And next time you see somebody like that, is that just an open space that you can offer for them to open up, come out of their mind of anxiety, and just give them a few minutes to talk and share so that they can go on and have an amazing day? I hope you are okay today and that you have an amazing day too. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the stories to make sure you get notified when more come up, because I have a whole list of ideas to share with you about the life stories and the life experiences from an emotional awareness expert, Kay Reeve. Bye bye until tomorrow.